Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the 1 to 200 scale Gundam TR-1 Hazel II. So again, as we saw in the previous video, taking a look at the 1 to 200 scale Hazel 1, this one is once again a very small scale, very simple kit that was a magazine pack-in with Dengeki Hobby magazine back in 2004 when these came out before Bandai made their HGUC kits. This one also was just given to me as a gift, so once again, just thank you to the friend who donated these to me, who just knew that I'm a big Advanced Zeta fan, so these are really cool. Really like this version of the Hazel as well, so this one should be pretty cool. So really cool box art here on the front. It's quite rare that we would have like box art for something where like the main image there is not actually showing the front of the Gundam, where like obviously the emphasis here is like on the backpack of the Gundam, which is quite unique. The Gundam like body itself, I mean the actual body is pretty much like the body of a quail. And then it just has like the Gundam head on it, like the Hazel head, and then it just has this new backpack. So it's kind of interesting like, in that way. So yeah, then just here in this other line art, you do actually see the front of the Gundam there. But just going around to the side of the box, you can see this is number 3 in the line. Once again, number 1 was the Hazel 1, number 2 is the Bigwig, and number 4 is the Kehar. So that's just a Bizak and a kind of advanced Ashmar kit there. Here you can see what this kit is going to look like when it's painted. So it does come with the backpack, and it comes with the shield and the extra armor parts there on the front and back of the mobile suit. So on this picture here, you're not seeing that part on the front of the chest, but it apparently does have that. So I don't know if that's going to be just an optional part or if it's molded like that. I'm not actually too sure. Once again, here on the back, you can see the construction of the kit. The instructions are just printed on the back of the box here, so relatively simple there, and it looks like that armor is just molded there, so you don't have a choice of using that extra armor or not. It's just already molded on there. So, I mean, not really a big deal. I like the look of that anyway, but let's get a look at what we've got here. So, this one is, once again, also just molded all in white, and also includes the same kind of runner and a little smaller runner there. Alright, so at first I was expecting this A1 runner to just be exactly the same as with the Hazel 1, but it is actually different. It's also just parts for the arm, but it is different from the Hazel 1. So this one has the marking 1 to 200 scale Hazel II, and I'm not sure what those kanji are there, but anyway, it does say Hazel II on there. And then here we have the rest of the parts for everything else. So again, really, really nice detail. This is small, and it's going to be pretty much fixed pose, not going to be a whole lot of articulation here, but the details there are really nice. So after you've gone through all the trouble of masking and painting everything up really properly, it's going to look super, super nice. Here you can see there's a look at that torso armor, just the whole torso and skirt there all together. And then the rifle there, the parts for the head there as well. So really, really, really nice quality, just very small. So yeah, let me get this snapped up and then we'll come back with the review. Alright, so here's what he's going to look like when he's all snapped up. Going to be looking pretty snappy. Pretty much the same issues though that everything that the Hazel 1 had. I think this one is not as bad because especially in the legs of this design are much simpler. It doesn't have like the big thrusters and big vents in the front and back of the legs like the Hazel 1 had. So I think getting rid of the seam lines on this kit will definitely be easier than on the Hazel 1. But you definitely still have a lot of seams just pretty much everywhere on the kit except for the upper body and the feet is pretty much it. We do also have seam lines on the side skirt in this case, which we didn't really have to worry too much about on the Hazel 1. The head is going to be kind of, it's very similar, but it is slightly different, especially just because it has the extra antenna on the back, which is really cool. I have gone ahead and gotten rid of the safety flags on the V-fin and on the antenna. It had little safety flags on there. And also kind of nice that with this backpack, the backpack is not that heavy. But it still is heavy enough that it is going to weigh the kit back a bit, but of course with that huge long tank there, out the back. You can just basically use that as a tripod to stand it up there in the back. That will move. I'll talk about some more of the articulation here just in a moment. But as you can see, this is just another really awesome looking design here. So let's get into that articulation. The articulation is basically going to be exactly the same as the Hazel 1. But this one, you can see the head will not quite go up as far. With the Hazel 1, the head went up like nice and far. With this one, I don't really understand why it's different, but it only goes up to about there. It's still pretty good though. You can see just the detail on the head is really, really super nice there, and then down to there. So not quite as much articulation in the head. Overall, just really cool shape there with the extra armor there on the chest and on the front skirts. Looks quite cool. The shoulder armor is just shoulder joint is just a ball joint there, so you're able to move the arm up just to about 45 degrees before it's going to be popping off that ball joint. Rotation here at the top, about a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and then the wrist is on a ball joint in this case. So that is actually quite useful for holding the gun that this one has. Unlike with the Hazel 1, where its beam rifle it just has a really short stock, this rifle is going to be much more difficult, so I'll show you that in a minute. The legs, again, are just on ball joints, so those, again, will go out to about there, not that far, and you'll have a little bit of rotation at the top, but just whatever that ball joint will allow, which is not a whole lot. Front and back is going to be not too much, only front to only about there, about a 90-degree bend there at the knee. You do have some nice detail there inside for the mechanical detail in the knee, so that's kind of nice. And then the feet, once again, will go down and up about like that before you're just popping them out of the leg, but just keep those in there. And then, like, again, these are also on a track a little bit, so you can set that kind of off to the side for a nice angled flat foot. Forgot to show under the feet on the Hazel 1, but the under the feet are exactly the same as this one. Really nice detail under there as well, so just greatly detailed these kits are. So here on the back we have this fuel tank here that will move up and down like that, and then these pods here on the side which can go all the way back or all the way out to the side, however you might want those. They kind of look best sort of like that though there, right? So again, really nice detail inside those. All of that is looking really, really nice in terms of all the details for everything. So for our accessories for this, we just have a shield and a rifle. So the rifle is here. Really, really nice design rifle here. I believe this is like the Quell or GM Type C rifle. It's one of those two, something like that, I think. But I really like this rifle design quite a bit. So with the back looking like that, obviously you're going to want the hand to be able to hold that so that the stock is a little bit off to the side. So you can hold it like that, just really nicely, and no problems holding that in there at all. And the shield, though, is a little bit of a different story. So the shield, we have some just really simple there on the front, and on the back we actually have some details here in the back, which is nice. The problem is the connection. So the connection is just that circle peg, but the arms, they use the same arms as the Hazel 1, where the peg hole is it's like D-shaped in there. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but that's shaped specifically for the shield connections from the Hazel 1. They didn't change it in this case, so this just regular circle peg doesn't really fit in there that well. It sort of fits in there, but it's really loose. So just want to be a little bit cautious about that. You can hold that on the arm, but of course the backpack gets in the way a little bit. But you just have to sort of set it in there as best you can. It's going to be kind of probably touching the backpack. But that's it. So once again, for a size comparison with this guy, here you can see he's just barely coming up to the waist of this 1/44 scale Gundam local type. So yeah, they're going to be pretty small indeed, but just a lot of really nice detail packed into a really small tiny kit. And then also a comparison here with the Hazel 1. You can see it looking very cool together. They're both super cool. So yeah, of course you can do the little trick there of just kind of turning the arms sort of almost backwards there, so just at least the shield is sort of on the front, kind of outside instead of just on the back of the arm. Really would have been nice if they would have included a shield connection piece like with the Hazel 1 that would keep the shield on the side of the arm. When I was putting this together, I was like, where's the connection piece? Like looking over the runner again and again. And then like, oh yeah, it just doesn't have one. So that's kind of one little disappointing thing about this, but it would be really easy enough to just drill a hole in the side of the arm and just to connect the shield onto the side of the arm instead. So we'll just have to do that whenever it comes down to painting time for this guy. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this review. Once again, just thank you to Donovan for sending me these two kits to just review here for you guys and enjoy. One of these days, when I find the time, this will make a fun little project that will, despite the size of these kits being quite small, I'm sure the project will actually take quite a while, because it'll be a lot of seam line removal work and very tiny painting on these, but should be fun. So looking forward to working on these sometime in the future. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, of course, you can leave those down below. Otherwise, see you guys